where that one fall. So old school Dave says fire Sawyer. And then New Style says, yeah, rock out Sawyer. And then Rise Above says, Sawyer, I know it would be a distraction, so not possible. but do you wish you had the opportunity to really bond with Doe over music? It's clear both your vehicles at one time had a passion for it.
I never actually thought about it, but I mean, well, yes, actually, because one time Doe stimulated a conversation. One time he stimulated a conversation about bringing music into the classroom when we were in the office complex that T&O leased that they called Astrologics. And Doe asked everybody in the class who had some experience with music to tell him, write him a note and express what we had experience with. And I wrote him and told him that I had played some instruments. And I remember Arthody wrote him and told him that he played guitar, and I think sang. And nothing ever came of that. And I was a little looking forward to it, but at the same time I wasn't attached to it. And so when it didn't happen, it didn't really bother me. I don't know if it bothered Arthody. It might have a little bit, I don't know for sure. He might have said something about it to me, because we were partners for a while. But then what started up was singing 4-part harmonies. T instigated Doe leading the group in a choir. And you saw some of that in that video that was made of Doe. Doe wasn't leading the choir in that case, I don't think. I didn't see him in the video doing it, but he was certainly the inspiration for it. T was and Doe was, and that was a lot of fun to sing. Even though I was an okay singer. I mean, I could hold a tune with other people, singing a certain part, because I was singing a tenor part, and I was able to do okay. But then Doe selected some students to do a little solo kind of thing together, and I wasn't one of those selected because I didn't have as much command of my vocal cords as the others did, and I didn't have a problem with that. So I feel like I have bonded with Doe in musically. Okay, I guess I'm going to do something different.
You gonna play the flute?
Yeah, I guess I'll play some flute. I don't know if that was... I tried to record it just off my laptop. I wasn't trying to do anything fancy. And actually, I need some water or something. Oh, that's fine. I have this here. I can make this. Yeah. I hadn't played this in many months until a week or two ago when Kathy said to me, "Why don't you play some flute?" And at first I said, "Well..."
Hem and haw and hem
And she said, "Play flute." Play flute. And so I said, okay. So I took it out and then I played a little bit of everything.
And then we rearranged the, I guess this is technically the dining area.
Right, we rearranged our dining area. We were able to turn the driver's seat around, so I'm sitting in that right now.
The captain.
So you see this is our traveling studio.
That's right.
And Kathy's on the other end of the living room area,
Coloring.
and she's coloring, and she's live streaming her coloring on her channel.
No haters allowed. Very beautiful.
Thank you. I can say a little, see. Well, I can say a little bit about the process I go through in my head when I'm playing something like that. And it kind of develops, and when it goes into some places that I'm not really anticipating it to go, which is, it's a vague kind of experience because it's not planned ahead of time. But I've been playing long enough that I kind of stumble into some of the same sounds I've stumbled into before. And so when I find myself doing that, I try to repeat it so that it becomes its own little piece. And but if you ask me to do it now, I could do the same thing again. But a week from now, if I'd have to hear it to try to do the same thing again. So in that piece, the way I was doing it was I was starting off, really subtle, and didn't know exactly where I was going to go yet and what kind of sound I was going to try to produce. And so I started with I think with the note B on the low register of the flute.
Thank you, Rise Above.
Hmm?
People are switching back and forth from your stream to mine.
Well, great.
Rise
Great.
Above says this is perfect. Got the music in the background for the ears and the visual art for the eyes.
There you go. Yeah. I like
We're
it
a 1-2 punch.
too. Great. I hope we're not knocking anybody out. In a good way, though. It'd be nice. But thank you for that expression right above. And so to just go on with that little story for whatever it might be worth to those that enjoy hearing that kind of explanation of music. And then I ended up going to the note a little higher in the register of F sharp. When I did that, in my head, I thought, okay, well, maybe what I'm doing is developing something in the key of D. And then, by accident, I put the note C in there, lower in the register. And that, took it in a different direction, because that was no longer, in the key of G that I started off with the F sharp in there. And so then I thought to myself, I guess it's not going to be in the key of D, because it would then be a C sharp that I would have put in there instead of a C to make it exact. I mean, you don't have to be exact about this, because it depends on how you resolve the notes, whether they fit or not. You don't have to play within any one key, and that's what jazz is. It's allegedly experimentation with all the notes in the scale, but a lot of times they're actually circulating around a certain key. A lot of jazz musicians, and I don't consider myself a jazz musician because I'm not studied in that way, except for the fact that jazz is generally thought of as improvisation. And I'm definitely an improvisational musician, because it's too hard not to be, in a sense, right? Because if you try to do the same thing twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times, the only way you can do that, in my opinion, is by doing it so much that you know it, you know what you're going to do, and repeating that, or writing it down so that you can repeat it. And I don't have the consciousness or whatever you want to call it, or
Focus?
the focus. I don't want to have the focus actually of writing it down, even though when I started off playing the flute, I started to write music in 1974 or so, 4 or 5. And I tried to write down actually Tim Weisberg's songs. He's a significantly accomplished flutist, or flautist, however you say it.
Flutist makes more sense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've heard it both ways.
Really?
But yeah, and I was writing down his pieces are not easy to write down. You got to listen to them over and over again, and I started to play them then too, but I couldn't really get close to it. But then after I was in the classroom and I didn't play flute, and I left the classroom, and I went and rented a flute soon there, like within a month or two of leaving the classroom when I was in Arizona. And within about a year after that, I started actually playing Tim Weisberg songs. And I wasn't too bad at it, I wasn't like him. But I ended up seeing him in Phoenix, I think it was, around that time, about 1994 or 5. Anyway, so that's a little bit of that.
What's your
Maybe-
process of playing the drums?
The process of playing the drums, Kathy is asking me. Okay. Well, it's kind of the same thing.
But drums you don't play in a certain key, do you?
Well, I mean, people do tune the drums to certain notes. Those are the real, what do you want to call them? I don't know. I mean, you can say pro, but that doesn't, professional is really not that much of a term, really, in my mind, when it comes to the arts especially, because, it's an expression. And, you can't do something wrong with it, really, unless it just sounds terrible to somebody's ears. But
Right, it's all disjointed or...
Right. So with the drums, I mean, I've actually lost gigs with bands because if they asked me to play a certain way that I didn't know how to hear it, they didn't say like, play a drum track and say, can you duplicate this? Without doing that, I didn't know how to, by a description of, let's say they said, play an Afro-Cuban beat. And I would say, well, I kind of learned to do that to some degree, but I don't know if people that really focus on Afro-Cuban beats would pass out, watching me do it.
Give us an example.
Okay, this would be more like an Afro-Cuban beat. Let's see. So it just got a more hoppier, than the way I was playing was more.
What's like a
rock beat would be like a standard, like. And then, so.
What about reggae?
Reggae is kind of like, well, 6/8 time, and I'm not really good with the timing of things.
Like think Bob Marley.
Right. I have played in the band with some Bob Marley songs, but I don't know if let's see if I could hear it.
I know, that's what I'm trying to think, like what would be
Da, 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 can't sing it in tune. Like I was thinking of, what's the name of that song? Renaissance Man? No.
What about Natural Mystic?
Can you actually make any sounds that would?
Everybody will leave my channel. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. That's hard to say. That sounds kind of reggae. I'm trying to think of a more popular one, like
Da da da
Don't
da
worry.
da da da.
I don't know what
Da
that
da
is.
da 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 da.
What about Don't
Da da
Worry?
da da
About a thing.
da da da.
I don't know, what is that?
It's actually close.
I have no idea. What about Don't Worry
Don't worry, be happy
about a thing?
about a thing.
'Cause every little thing's
See, I would rather play flute with
gonna
it.
be alright. Singing Don't Worry
No, I don't know what to do with
about a
that.
thing.
Unless I had, the band to do it, and then I can put some licks
Rise up
into it.
this morning, sun's on the rise once again. Three
A
little
lot of times the
birds,
reggae song starts with
let's rock again. Yeah.
something I, Ding. No, I don't know. I can't do justice.
And that's how you can mess up playing the drums.
Right, right. But yeah, I mean,
Oh my god, I'm almost done with this.
I did learn to play some beats on the drum set, that were the most common
Do these
beats
in the orange.
used, and those are jazz beats, and mostly all like in
Reggae.
4/4 time or 4/8 time or 2/4 time
'Cause every little thing
or 6/8
gonna be
time.
alright.
But I don't have the bass drums set up here,
Okay.
so I can't use my foot. So anyway, that's
Okay, I know, I need to do that. I'll do it later, alright? Yeah, chill. Chill. The cat lets you know that there are cat chores that need to be done. And
but I can do another. Let's see, I better stop.
what about a jazz beat?
Well, yeah, that's what I was.
Evie's coming to check you out. When Sawyer first moved in with me and set up his drum, he had a rug that he put down, and he put all his drums on it so they wouldn't slide all over the place as he was playing them. And Evie found a little spot, and she'd start laying there, and pretty soon there was a bunch of hair in that one spot. She just had to go check his stuff out. She's like, who is this guy? She's a super sweet cat, though.
Yeah, I'm not playing jazz conga drums.
That sounds hard.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I really gravitated to, because I used to, when I first started to play music again in 1995 or 6, or thereabouts, I would go to this bar that had a jazz night, and I didn't feel like I could play flute there because I just didn't have the experience. I did later on and play with jazz people on flute and a little bit of saxophone, but and I think I did okay with them, but because they were playing by the book standards of
Right.
they call it the fake book.
The fake book.
Yeah, they call it the fake book. It's a big thick book and it has standards in it of
Stop it.
music. Way to play certain things. And there was a guy, I remember when I used to go to this pub and just my congas, and sit in with these jazz players, saxophone and flute, and well, I haven't seen any flutist players, but mostly saxophone players and trumpet and trombone and those kind of instruments. And I think I don't know if they might have had a jazz guitarist there, and which is another skill set, of course. But I remember there was a guy there that was playing congas, and the way he was playing, I was recognizing as that's the way they want you to play. And I tried to play like him, and I was able to do it. I think okay, but it got to be boring to me. I just didn't have enough variety to that genre, and but I know, they have a lot of variety in what they do. I don't know if in the conga drums that's accomplished, but the drum set. My cousin, my vehicle's cousin, he's a jazz drummer, and he's been playing with bands for many years. And you can tell his finesse is amazing. But when he's playing rock music and stuff like that, it's good. But it's like he's like he's and maybe not too much, but he's a gentle kind of drummer. And that takes a lot of skill, of course. I couldn't even compare with him in that regard on the set or anything. And where I'm kind of like loose ends,
You're a loose cannon.
I'm like, I just want to bang the hell out of the drums. No, I think I have a little bit of finesse sometimes, but it's just not as polished in a way. He actually counts, and he can read music and drum music and all that. So if a band wants him to do a certain song, they do a lot of covers in most of the bands that he was in, and so he would learn the exact part for the drums. Where the best I could do would be like approximate it a little bit. But that's why I probably didn't make much money doing it. Because most bands that are making it and they haven't, recorded their own stuff and built a fan base, they have to live off of playing covers for all the bars, because that's what the people want. They want to be able to say, "Hey, can you do some Bob Marley?"
Right.
And then I've been in that circumstance to where I was playing with a guitarist on drums and flute and stuff like that, and we had some gigs in a bar, and it was going well for like the first 3 gigs, and then after that the people were just asking for covers, and the guy that I was playing with, the guitarist, he knew a bunch of covers, but he wasn't focused on covers that much, because he had his own material as well.
Yeah.
And most artists really like to do their own material.
Yeah, but people don't know it, so they don't want to hear it.
Right.
They want to hear what they know,
Right.
so they can sing along.
Yeah, I can't blame them. It's like reminiscing. It brings them back to something that they,
Yeah.
were feeling in the past. And okay, so that's all the talking I'm going to do. Maybe not.
At least about that. Now you're gonna play some more drums
My drums.
before
Okay.
it gets dark and we gotta stop doing
All
that.
right.
She has those meows down pat, doesn't she?
I don't want to do that. I want to open up a new track.
Well, if Evie's going to be meowing the whole time, I don't know if that's such a good idea. I wonder if I should put some white in these ones to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. Or if it's good. I still got to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with this. I think I'm going to color it that background color. Kind of act like it's background. I gotta do her eyeballs too. Which I think I was gonna go with the orange color. First I'm gonna color this.
You gotta put some, too much noise coming from the connectors, the drum stand. When I play like that.
Hush!
I know you don't like the drummies. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Sorry. Don't worry. Be happy. All right, I'll play some saxophone. People like that better. sweating over here.
Well, we had to turn the AC
I had
off.
to turn the AC off.
I am almost done with this. I just have to color her eyes. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'm done. Oh no.
Now saxophone, whatever it's worth, of course, is its own beast. Oh, I see this was a little loose here. And the one I play in that opening to my YouTube channel is a different one. That came from my vehicle's mother's boyfriend, whose brother and uncle had a band in the 1920s and 30s, I guess, in New York City area.
Your eyes are going to be orange. I know that's not a normal eye color.
And they were a three-piece band. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
And it was a 1927 made saxophone. It kind of has a silver look to it, even though it's not made out of silver. It's made out of, I think it's nickel, mostly. But it wasn't the most expensive one that existed. In those days, it was probably considered to be a decent horn. And I was told by a horn aficionado that the metal was thicker in the horns that were made in that era. And so they produced a different kind of tone that some horn players really liked. Where this one here, I ended up buying this when I got some inheritance. And it was reconditioned. It's considered to be a professional horn. And the way you can tell the difference is, the workmanship is better, and the metal is better, and the parts, the pads seat better onto the, and the spring action, it's smoother. There's less gaps between the keys and the holes, so you can play it. You can do more with it. Where that other horn that I had from 1927, it wasn't ever reconditioned, actually. And for several years, I kept it in a box and I didn't play it because I couldn't get anything out of it, hardly. And then one day I decided that I've got to try to make this thing work. And I didn't want to spend the money, it'd be like $1,000 just to recondition it. Or maybe not that much, but close to that. And I didn't want to spend that kind of money on it. And so I took it out and I tried to do my own little repairs on it. And that was okay, because I got it to play enough to where I could, do that little recording and stuff. And, but then when I got this one, it was like, actually I bought another one first. And it was kind of junky in some ways. I didn't realize it. And I ended up, I don't know what I did with that one. Did I give it away to somebody or did I sell it? You just knocked that baby.
Oh, I think I just hit your thing.
You did.
Sorry, I didn't mess
You
it up.
knocked me out of the park.
Oh my God, look, there's my big old head.
So anyway, I got this one, and then I felt like I could go around and play with, because I think the other one was a little out of key.
Ryan
Well-
says you're a one-man band. Used to play the sax. Meow. Yes, Chet Pimbleton. She makes a lot of noise. Ryan likes this one. Very slow tempo reggae music. The best. Varsity Bookworm. Glad to hear, Ryan. Varsity, I was just wondering about you. Ian Watts. That's when music is music. I like the jazz music of the 70s myself, says David Bannister. Ian Watts is a new subscriber. Cheers from Australia.
Cheers to you.
Hello. I hope all is
Everyone
well
else
for
that was just
everyone.
mentioned, hello to you all.
And Oh, Ian Watts is a concert pianist and composer. That's cool. Shiz Aces 316. I played the clarinet, alto sax, and alto sax. I tried the flute and nope. I'll stick to the ocarina.
Ocarina, oh yeah.
I can't play the flute either. I can't make it make any noise. Rise Above says wonderful treat. Sawyer, great job on all the documentaries. Says Shiz Aces. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I've been following Heaven's Gate for years. The entire idea of it and philosophy is wild to me. More power to them wherever they are. They're in the next level. Maybe.
Yeah.
Such a great, insightful look into the classroom. Thank you, Kathy, for reading my question. I appreciate you both very much. No problem, Rise Above. 737. Hello, chat. Glad I could catch a live. So nice. Greetings, guys. That's FD Viv.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I read them all.
Recognize all those, most of those names and the new ones. I'm glad to have you all
My head.
contributing to us here.
Legit
Participating.
question, though. Would you want to make a drum beat I could rap over?
Usually when someone asks me that, I usually just play something kind of slow. And
For a rap?
yeah, because but I don't know if I could do it justice now.
And I'm finished with my coloring page.
You are?
Yep, I'm just gonna cut out.
You did the eyes.
I did. They look good. Gonna cut the edges off. Or maybe I could color them. I'd rather cut it.
That'll probably be too slow for most rappers.
Oh yeah.
But so, I don't. I mean, I have played with rappers. In fact, I used to go to this bar in Vermont that had a rap night, and they had all kinds of rappers getting up, taking turns. And I would play with some of them, but mostly I enjoyed playing like flute or sax to them
Oh.
because I could just improvise and put in. But so I don't know if I can do justice to a rap that you would feel comfortable with.
I wonder if we should, do you want to play some more or should we stop because it's dark?
I was
Yeah.
thinking I could.
We haven't had anybody come over and say, stop that noise.
What time is it? 7? I think we're okay as long as we
We're in
stop
the-
by 10 or something like that.
The quiet hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
Uh,
done with this.
I was thinking of doing one more thing, kind of.
One more thing. I'm gonna go ahead and stop mine because I'm
Okay.
at an hour and 26 and I'm finished.
Dynamite. So now you can get on to your next one that you want to do.
That's right, which I'm very excited about. And I got some organizing to do before I can do that. Thank you very much for anybody tuned in. And I will see you on the next one.
That's what I did for the HBO thing.
Oh yeah.
That's what they recorded in my house in Vermont. But I was playing the drum set at the same time, so I could keep a beat with my feet. But I can do that with, keeping a beat with this.
Might not have heard me.
I want to start a new track. Turn. As if it was going to go into the Gulf of Mexico. Turn. Incredible speed. It kept on going in the same direction it started in. Out of sight. And thinking at the time, I wonder if it's intelligently driven. I realized later that, well, I thought it was. Somehow.
So Ryan liked the slower beat better. The fast one was too fast. That song, he says, that's some drink some moonshine about around a bonfire and dance with that hottie yonder way music, and I'm digging it. Still in chat says, damn, you got bangers in the making. Killing it. I dig ya, says Jack. Ryan says this is the greatest thing ever. Jack Jones says, I swear, where's this man been, bro? Brian Birmingham says, jam on it. Jack Jones says, this is so great, I'm gonna jam and drink with this dude tonight. Brian gives you a lot of clapping. FD Viv says, awesome, Sawyer, thumbs up, and Brian Birmingham says, party on. FD Viv says, music and art in general is the way to satisfy our soul at the human level.
Yeah, it does a lot of that, doesn't it? So, yep, I hear you. Thank you all. I'm really worn out.
Yeah,
I used to, sometimes I would, play in the street for 5 hours straight.
You didn't have
But
no breaks.
I don't think I have that stamina now.
Well, you want to call it?
Yeah, so I think I want to bring it to a close. It's been a pleasure to do something that wasn't, like talking about the apocalypse and all of that stuff.
But that's the next video.
But that's the next one, right? Because we like to talk about the way that T and Doe thought about all that. That's our primary enjoyment. But it's been a pleasure to play the music. Good night.
Great, Jack Jones. We'll see you on the next stream.